live. So I'll say indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution. Today's stream topic is going to be about making your loved ones aware of your existence. While I was driving today, I had this sense where, as I was driving and trying to merge into a lane, I could see slash feel the other person hoping that I know they exist, right? From a purely survival perspective. Like, if I didn't know they exist, if I didn't pay attention to their existence as a car on the road, I would drive into them. But I instantly, upon seeing that demeanor, articulated to myself, I know you exist, right? I know you exist. And then, as I continue driving, I am like ruminating, and this is a topic, thinking about bringing into awareness your existence, right? Because people might know you exist. For instance, I know a bunch of people exist from the perspective of you have shown up in the stream, you have shown me your name, and we've had conversations before, right? I know of your existence. But then, in this specific example, if you end up not showing up for weeks, for months, for years, even though I'll still just as much know of your existence, when you come back into the stream, your existence will not be in my awareness, right? And I believe it's the same thing for our loved ones as well, right? And I'm trying to specifically prompt in our minds this willingness, this stand upness that we can kind of like occupy in our lives to really bring into our loved ones, our family, our partners, our business partners, our etc., for them to really become aware of our existence, right? Part of me is extreme and almost has like a level of I won't let you not be aware of my existence. But that is today's stream topic. Thank you for joining me. I see Kristen and Joy Vive here already. There's a few friends lurking. Are you hiding? It's nice having you here too. Sending you blessings. Yeah, maybe there's something there. I am aware of your existence right now, but I am not knowing of your existence, right? Other side of the fractal. Checks out. I have, again, some of my own homegrown. In my grinder, I've stacked my Dynavap. I will now commence. Today was lost, let's say. Lost to the throes of other people's plans. Yes. I heat my Dynavap as I contemplate. I drove John and Max to a venue today. Yeah. This one is very honey-esque. Both of them had like sweet smells along with gas. And I have two phenotypes technically that drew from the seeds I had. This one is very honey forward, like that sharp honey taste, right? Almost like polleny, I don't even know what you call it, fermenty even, honey taste. And the other one is more gas forward as comparison to this one. That is indeed tasty. Joy Vive's saga of trying to find a lighter. A torch so she can heat her Dynavap appropriately. Continues. We were jokingly talking about it in yoga today. the level of inconvenience that she has been caused. I've been told I'm gas forward. Woo! Strong, uh, potent, pungent. I got a new torch and a bottle of butane last night for $12 total. Yeah, that's a steal, dude. I think that's about how much I paid as well. I'm getting a new little butane can as well today. Mine was officially spent, and I bought that butane can back when I was at home. I bought it 5th of January when I went into town to go and get myself some things for my plants. So a butane can lasts me technically, because one of my lighters got stolen, and I have now two other people using my lighters as well. Lasts me 3 months. Going on the fourth month, right? Yeah, 3 months. Lasts me 3 months. So yeah, again, in my mind, I think it is the best use of efficiency right now. I still do want the induction coils. That'll happen eventually, but for now, I want Joy Vive to tell me how much she loves her Dynavite. I want Joy Vive to tell me how trying different wheat strains now actually tastes different, and she's stoked to notice that. That's what I'm looking for. Here's hoping. Any second now, Amazon's gonna get there with her new torchlighter. Hey, Mojo is here too. Bless you, Mojo. It's nice having you here, friend. Somebody was backfiring. I am a little bit tired, right? I did kind of give a little bit of an intro. Again, this morning, 5:30, I'm up. I'm getting ready. John is also awake at least. Max also seems to be moving. I take a shower. John takes a shower. Max takes a shower. We get in the car. We drive through to Johannesburg side. About an hour's drive from here. We get there. The venue is upstairs, which is rough because you're carrying like 120-pound plus speaker drums, right? Bass drums. Are they called bass drums? No. There's a specific industry word for them. The subwoofers. Yeah. Yeah, 120-pound subwoofers. There's 6 of them that went up there. Then like what seems like maybe 60-pound per line arrays. The cable boxes were ridiculously heavy. But yeah, I get there, and it's not my work. It's not my work. But I cannot idly sit by. So of course I help, and I can feel it on my body right now. I can feel it on John and Max as well, though. They've been doing this. At least the reason I stayed, the reason I didn't just drop them and left, is because they wanted to go to his grandma's place, which is not that far away from the actual venue, but they don't have to stay there the whole day up until like 3 a.m. or whatever, waiting for the music to stop so they can break down all of the sound and lights. The lights was the biggest nightmare today. Oh goodness. Like the speakers were pretty chill, right? You run the wire, you plug the wire in, the thing works. The lights, however, had other ideas. And it causes a certain level of like psychological neurotension where you're in the state of like please, right? It's like that fractal of trying to put the 2-point plug into the wall socket or whatever, right? And you just cannot hit the holes, and you're just like in that state of not being able to complete this, which feels like a very simple task. Just doesn't just wanna do it. So yeah, I'm learning lessons though. I am learning so many lessons. I mingled, if you will, had some conversations with the owners of the place, had some conversations with the lead creative director. I got his number. I showed him my art. He likes it. They're interested in us zooping up their venue for them as well eventually. I love you, friends. And I love you. Sending you blessings. The really butane lasts you much longer because you're in a warm environment. There's a lot more waste when fitting. If the can is cold, it must get I maybe get 2 months out of a can. I mean, that's still good. That in my mind is still not bad. But I'm guessing you're paying then close to $10 a can. You said $12. $12 total. So you're paying like $6 a can. Right? So again, my mind goes, okay, that means you're gonna buy 6 of them in a year, which is 36, which means that you would have to use your Dynavap and butane for 3 years before you reach the same dollar amount that one induction heater will cost you. The difference though is that the induction heater charges, so it doesn't spend fuel, doesn't combust anything, doesn't produce carbons. So yeah, Mel did the eyebrow. I have absolutely no idea what eyebrow thing you're talking about. I really don't. I probably did some eyebrow thing, but I don't actually know what eyebrow thing I did. I want the induction coil, but I don't have any power to spare out in the shed. I'm running the edge with lights and heaters. I mean, I don't think it should be that big of a problem, Duck Dad. It is like a device that has a cell phone charger, essentially. Alright, so if you can spare charging a cell phone, you should be able to spare charging that thing. Positive plant vibes to Pepper Poppy. Thank you, Joy Leaf and Jovan, for blessing our beloved Duck Dad with lovin's. The weather. I also didn't know the weather thing, but one thing that I can believe is that it might actually just take more energy. Alright, like this thing, if you want to put heat down somewhere, a torch is a good way to do that. You can put a lot of heat down right there. You can do that. But if the temperature around you and the wind passing over you is so cold, you have to put more temperature down there where you're putting it. Otherwise, it will get cold again. So I'm thinking that maybe on that fractal, the weather might actually influence or affect the propane use as well. Welcome to Useless Facts. I don't know, propane could freeze. It sounds very dangerous to light a fire under the tank. Were we told to do that? Oh my goodness. If I had $1 for every time I showed up at someone's farm working in Michigan to find some good old boy with a bonfire under his propane tank. The giant 500-gallon ones to keep from freezing. Why don't they just bury them in the ground? Why don't... I'm also very not making bonfires underneath your propane tank. Melt more, sorry to say. The wind is quite audible today, don't blow away. Thank you. No, don't be sorry. You have never to be sorry for letting me know this good information. Because now I get to move here. I was wondering why just like droves of you friends suddenly melted away, and I was like, well, I guess that's how life is sometimes, right? That is how it be. And then the wind, came through, or a wind problem came through, and I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense. I would leave too. But no worries, dear friends. Every day is a day closer to me having new microphones. Can you feel it? Can you feel it getting closer and closer? All right, let me switch to all messages as well. There we go. I want you all to manifest some positive plant vibes. There we go. Lots of sensitive plants going to the outdoor greenhouse today, where they will have to sink or swim, plant Thunderdome style. Bless those little plants. May they grow strong. May they be absolutely stoked to be receiving sunlight Yeah. I'm sure they will be. I'm sure they will be stoked. Mel, love is true. Yeah, everything where you make them go in waves. Weirdly enough, I think this is my dad's fault. Apparently, when I was a baby, my dad would look at me and then go. And apparently, I found it very funny. I would just laugh and laugh. Like, look at this monkey pulling faces at me. Yeah, now I'm the only one that can do it. Like the rest of my family members do not have control over their eyebrows. Everyone does that to babies, don't they? It is funny. Yeah, I'm not being like, how dare my dad do this? I mean, I am who I am because of that stuff as well, right? Is the audio better? Everyone charging a cell phone will trip my breaker, right? The lightning, baby. I'm gonna do that thing where I abstain from commenting. I did vape this vapes a little bit, a little earlier, but then upon inspecting, there is still much more left to be vaped. Little did I know. Yeah, wind noise gone. Perfect. That makes me happy to hear. Speaking of the sun, anyone gonna be in the bath of totality on Monday? I wish I was. I know someone who's gonna be in the bath of totality. I'm in the peak of the bath, but I got to work. Getting voluntold. Yeah. Getting voluntold. You have to work. Oh, you're totally helping. Take the day off, Joey. That's funny. That's so cute. You could have a long body break or something. I hope they'll let them watch at least. If they're gonna force them to work, at least give them like a little bit of a hiatus, so they can go and inspect for themselves the totality. Do you have like those special glasses? Do any of you have those special glasses that allows you to look at the solar eclipses? I don't think there's been many paths of totality happening here in South Africa, weirdly enough. You friends have been hoarding all of the solar eclipses for yourself. Alright. I am on all messages already at least. Yeah. I feel a sense of I want to say satisfaction, but satisfaction doesn't feel right. Relief. That's the word I'm feeling. I feel a sense of relief being back home again. Right? I noticed how my math brain, looking at the time, calculating how much time it will take me to get back home, and then how much time it will take me to do streams, right? And I see these lines pushing up against the lines, and watching myself be unrelieved, and then getting to be relieved again, chilling here with you friends. Because this is technically, I'm still gonna have to make flour, but this is very much the end of my day for me every single time. It's like I'm going over to a friend's place and just chilling out. Day's over. Get to relax now. I have eclipse glasses. My Bro worker designed them. That's so cool. That I'm like tripping out. That is so cool, right? Like custom designed Eclipse glasses. Did you like buy the lenses and then he made the frames? 3D printed them? Made them out of clay? I don't care. This sounds cool nonetheless. It's a huge day for the place I work, so it's like director mandated. But my direct boss is rad, so I might try to convince him to let the designers do a picnic. Yeah, yeah, that sounds really nice. Please, like I like how Jovan is also gonna be that person that stands up for her loved ones, right? For her, I mean her coworkers. Maybe they're not that loved. They're loved enough to be seen, to be considered, to be called pro workers, right? Like that's love enough. Nah, he just a graphic. I think I've missed a few. My daughter absolutely loved when I would do my eyebrow dance when she was a baby, probably because I have giant eyebrows that look like caterpillars taking a nap over my face. Oh, okay, when they're still. I was imagining them moving, right? And then I was like, these caterpillars are sleeping actively, it seems. I'm gonna be. It's gonna be 80% near me. I do have the dark cardboard glasses. Thank you, Amazon. Bless them. Bless them too. May they find their way sometime. Is it wrong that I've been. Is it wrong that I've just been so busy? I could care less about the totality. Yes, it would be cool to see, but I'm not in the path of totality. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's wrong necessarily. I feel it's one of those things where it used to be a very trippy happening, right? Like people figured out how to calculate the solar eclipse and could use that information to pretend that they're gods, right? Because people usually didn't know that that was coming until it was upon them. And that experience was, I think, for the longest time met with probably a lot of angst, fear, just straight up fear. And now we find ourselves in a time of history where we understand what's happening to the point where we can, like, literally to the minute calculate exactly when on the spot you find yourself that totality will happen. And I feel maybe that takes a little bit of the awe, the the fascination, the mystery. It takes away the mystery, right? So maybe there's not much for you to experience there, and there's more for you to do in this real world. He just graphic designed them, and a third party vendor printed them in the thousands to give to guests. That is so cool, man. I'm just imagining like this, like a fractal of love, right? Glasses being made with the intent of sharing love, and then they are made, and then they are shared with all of the guests. Hopefully, they protect their eyes. That's so cool. You should send us some photos if you're allowed to. They might have company branding on them or something. You care what you care about that, and right now your focus is on securing that bag. That's so dope, truly. All right. Instantly, after finishing reading comments, I find myself so calm. I'm like, ah, yes. It's raining right now. So it smells like petrichor. Yes. Do you say smells like petrichor? Or do you say petrichor? I smell petrichor? The smell of rain is called petrichor. Petrichor means the smell of rain. So do you say smell twice? Or do you just say, ah, petrichor? Ah, petrichor. Is that how you do it? What is Review saying? How is your English so good? It seems you speak Afrikaans with your friends and family. You know lots of big $3 words. We say it smells like rain. So, it's weird that you actually bring this up because I was thinking about it last night, Joy Lee, because you're not the first American friend to tell me that I have a extensive vocabulary, right? And the reason I was like thinking about all of the instances of people telling me that I speak gooder English than theirs, right? And I was like, why would that be? And the way I articulate it to myself is that because I'm an Afrikaans speaking person first, right? I grew up as a child speaking that language. I learned how to express myself in that language. So when I learned a new language, I was more curious about the words I could use to express myself or to express things in this world because I had a frame of reference of another language on the other side, right? Like I've said things in Afrikaans that I don't say in English ever, right? But because I've said them in Afrikaans, I will try to find ways to say the same thing in English. And English is, cool as a language because it has so many words, right? It has so many words. If you learn all of the words, you can say anything. I don't know if I want to learn all the words. I want to learn some of them, I want to learn the ones that are useful. I want to learn the ones that help communicate the depth of my ideas. And I feel, unfortunately, especially with our short attention span fractal going on right now, it might be a detriment to be using big words for people that might not. I mean, maybe I'm capping. Maybe because of all of the TikTok, they'll hear so many big words that it'll become a norm. Yeah, I'm gonna choose to believe that. Yes, that's totally what's happening. I don't think I've ever used the word petrichor in my life. Joey, he was an English teacher. Yeah, actually. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why. I was, in fact, a qualified English teacher. Yes. I mean, I did have my, what is it called? My 120 hour. There's some abbreviation. You know how it is. That I can technically, I want to say legally. Is legally the right word? I was certified to actually teach English, right? I had to, write essays. I had to actually show that I have English proficiency. And then upon that, I got my certification. However, and I want to share this as like a layered approach because there's so many layers to it. When I went to China, I very much went on the pretense of I want to go to China. And I was talking to someone who was already there, and she was talking to her boss about getting me there. So that was kind of my attachment to the situation. And then when the wheels really started getting turning, it was less than a month of us talking to me being in China. Right? And I didn't question it. I was in China. And then I walk in, and I've shared this part of the story before, but then I walk in on my training center, and they have on a I want to call it a billboard, like a display board. Imagine stairs, and then the stairs turn to go stairs more, and then that's a big wall, and that whole wall has not just my face, at least that would be too much, but our faces, right? Block, 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 block of the teachers teaching. And my face is attached to a piece of paper, which is a degree from England. I've never set foot in England, like one time. And I'm like, oh, and I walk up, right? Because this is the very first time I get there. I walk up to the trading center's kind of like little hall area, and I get briefed by Nathan about the whole situation, about do's and don'ts being in China, says and say nots. Literally, I literally got given a list of things not to say. Don't say these things. No good when you say these things. These specific things, no saying. And I heeded, I respected the not saying of the things. However, a part of the things I were not to say is the fact that I am, in fact, from South Africa. Right? Because they have a stigma, obviously, against South Africans. And because I'm not a native English speaker, because I don't have a British accent or whatever, now I'm not technically English. In their frame of reference. I'm not saying that's how it is for all of them, but for the school and for the parents that want to bring their kids to a school, they want to give their kids the best possible chance. And in their minds, maybe the best possible chance looks like the most native of English speakers. Right? So I get that. I get it. But having to lie to the parents' faces, right? I was given a backstory. I was given a story, and they were like, "This is where you came from. Go and like learn there," right? So if one of these parents start asking you questions, you can just drop basic, pinpoints because they're rich parents, so they can actually go to like, yeah. I had one it only happened once of being asked about my time, spent in England and how much I loved it, and I cracked. I mean, I didn't crack the same day, but I cracked eventually. There was this one family that took me out to dinners. They fed me frog multiple times. And I'd lie if I said I didn't like it. Yeah, some shock value. I did like the frog. The frog was good. The frog was fine. The berating of questions, that part I didn't particularly appreciate. And the first time I went, we ate frog. Very first time. And the second time we went to this hot pot place. And this hot pot place, it's hot there. Surprise, surprise. It's pretty steamy. And I was getting asked these questions again of where I'm from. And at this point, I was already technically planning on leaving that training center. So I just told them everything. And I mean, everything. I told them everything. More than I was supposed to. I told them where I'm from. I told them that I'm leaving. I told them why I'm leaving. I told them the circumstances leading up to me leaving. And then I left. I went to Shanghai. Yeah, it was quite an experience. And then in Shanghai, I spent a few months there. But then it was mid-COVID. Literally, I was there when the epidemic hit, right? They were boarding planes. So planes boarded, they're not taking off the ground. I have a visa that I can only get, technically, a working visa that I can only technically get if I have a degree, which apparently I have in England, right? So I start stressing, obviously, as you do, you stress about the situation. I go through this weird fractal of mildly getting detained. They when you go to another city in China, you're supposed to basically make your presence known. You have to be like, hey, here I am, to the police when you go to another city. That's how it's supposed to be. However, I didn't know this because what the fuck, right? So I go to Shanghai. I'm basically locked in my apartment. COVID's happening, right? And the other side of the joke is I'm the foreigner in their country, so I was seen as the one bringing the COVID to them. So the police knock on my door. And at that point, I was literally editing a video, the one where I was talking about the smoking indoor situation in China as well. So I was editing that video, and then they knock on my door. I open my door in a bathrobe, and the police are standing in front of me in full hazmat suits, right? Like fucking plastic up. And they're like, oh wait, dude. They have a translator there. He goes, oh wait, dude, you're going with these guys now. And I'm like, oh, oh, what, what have I done? And I go through all of the fractals of mine. I am convinced I will die. You know, I am. I'm like so stressing in the back of that car that when they eventually stop at the police station and they test my temperature, I was 39 degrees Celsius, which is too hot, way too hot. And after they get that reading, they back away like 3 meters from me. So I'm like, like, and then I try to tell them, and I literally type into my Google Translate, I am stressed. I stood in the sun, and the car drive was hot. Give me a second. And I literally sit down on the police like parking area underneath like a little bit of overhang shade from the one tree that was there, and I meditate myself into being under 36 degrees Celsius. Well, I was at 36.5 when they tested me again. So that's like normal temperature. I go inside, I'm like sitting there, they're talking, they're looking at me, they're talking. I'm calling the person who employed me, I'm giving them the phone, I'm like, please help me, please. Someone help me. Eventually, they basically let me know that I was supposed to announce my coming. I like saying it that way, right? Sounds more noble. Yes, like royalty. I was supposed to announce my coming, and I didn't do so. And I got a warning, and they basically acknowledged. I had to sign something acknowledging that I have been warned, and then they basically acknowledged, like they were aware of my existence. That was kind of the vibe, and that's the day stream topic. Weirdly enough, they were like, "Hey, yo, we are now aware of your existence," and I was like, "Okay, cool, that's great. I love that for me." Go back home. Thunder strikes. Go back home. You know, I finished editing my video. Kind of relieved that they weren't there about that, right? The fact that I was making a video, and I was also using a VPN, and I was like on the building fiber, so I was like so stressed that they were coming for like cyber crimes, which is so much more stress than I needed in that moment. So I then basically find out from my employer that my visa is going to expire. And in order for me to now get a new visa, and I'm aware of this as well because my visa was issued in April, and this was now basically February. I was aware that it was going to expire soon. And she was like, okay, the only way we can get around this is for you to go and work for my brother, is the exact word she used. You're going to go and work for my brother in Hangzhou, and he's going to help figure out your visa situation because, in her words, he knows people. And then I go to Hangzhou, I get on a train with all of my stuff. I mean, technically, with one bag full of my stuff. I put the rest of my stuff in a box. And I then put that box on a dude of a scooter. And I watched that dude drive off with my scooter. Oh, with my box, I'm sorry. Right. Like that was the start of my trip. And then I get on a train, and I mission down to Hangzhou. I get there. They're nice. They're super nice. They were nice to me. One of my coworkers was a Russian dude, super cool dude. The other, I think it was only him. The other teachers were like local teachers. We call them assistant teachers because they helped us. They were actually the teachers. To be real, they were actually the teachers because they could speak both Chinese and English. I could only speak English, right? Who do you think is going to be a better teacher? Surprise, surprise. But because my face is white, you know, I got the job or whatever. But continue with the fractal. Teach kids English because that's, you know, the mission. And then I got the, you know, police walking in on the classroom with cameras on me. And then one of the things that they were very questioning about is this whole fact of where the hell did I get, my certifications? They were like, but dude, you're like 21 now. How do you have a degree in English? And I'm like, yo, you see, I actually don't, uh, sir, officer, sir. And I came here basically to get work. I didn't know what the goings on was about me getting the work, and they did let me go at least. Why did we get into this story? There was something. Oh, the teaching English, yeah, and then being certified, and then tripping myself out about not having a degree and still being there to teach English, and the imposter syndrome. So much, so much imposter syndrome. One of the days that it really kicked in was the days that I was getting corrected over and over again about my pronunciation of the letter I, right? Like sit. In English, it's like an sound. Sit. Am I capping right now again? You see, like it's happening all over again. I'm imposter syndroming right now. But this fractal of like, am I saying it wrong? And they're like, it's eh. And I'm like, eh? Yeah, and the kids are looking at me as well, and I'm like, is this what it feels like? Is this what it feels like to be you, bro? Please, avert your gaze. Don't look at me like this right now. Alright, coming back to chat. I love the weirdest and nuances of language. It's so interesting how it shapes the way we perceive what we are aware of, right? Maybe there's like a whole layer of reality that we are unaware of because we don't talk about it. Yeah, Mel, that's called the metaphysical. Hey, don't get snappy with me. Words are fun. I like playing with them and twisting them around. Yeah, me too. I like puns. I do like puns. I'll take my opportunity to make a pun if I can. I want to learn the ones that are useful. The word fun. It's all purpose utility. Every situation where true. That's true. We're going to put a home of English to make some people believe me. Yeah, it's like, yeah, where the English is from. That's where this guy's from. Oh, my battery is on 5%. I forgot to charge it when I got here. That bums me out, bro. I don't want to be bummed out right now. Guess I'm gonna pull a card. I don't know if I'll be able to read the goodbye message. I know. Maybe if it's sent right now and I read the card quickly. 5% should give me like a few minutes. What kind of things were you not supposed to say? Like one of the things is like my boss was severely underpaying me, right? Like aggressively, like in South African money, 5 times my rent, less than other non-English speakers, right? And this is me feeling mean in saying this, but this is more an acknowledgement of fact than anything. Listening to one of my Russian friends that I met in Hoi An, right, talk English. Like hearing him talk about the oven, right? The oven. In the kitchen, there's an oven, right? And he gets paid like $1,000 a month more than me. And I was like, wait a fucking second. That doesn't seem right. I speak English good enough to be paid at least more than I am being paid right now. And my boss was like, no, bro, work for me for a year, and then we can talk about raising your wages. And I went, nah, no, I don't think that's gonna happen. If I can start earning $1,000 a month more next month, then I ought to do so because we're building our current value system on capitalism apparently, right? And if my time is worth $1,000 a month more to this other company, and my objective here is to make money, then that is the wisest thing for me to do, and I will not stand by. Because again, right, the co-teachers, the other teachers that I was teaching with, was getting paid the same amount, and we literally had like a whole little thing going, right? We were split. Half of the teachers didn't want to say anything, and half of the teachers did. I wasn't the half of the teachers that did, and I got a bunch of people together, and we had a very fucking awkward conversation. And I want to be mean a little bit, so I will be. The spineless fox. Okay, that was too mean. But that's what I felt in that moment, right? Literally sat on the on the other side of the negotiation table and just kept telling me, just want less. Just be okay with less, dude. We had even less when we started, so you should be okay with less as well. And I was like, no. And that's not how it works, my dude. That's not how it works. Like, who are you advocating for? Like, they were literally advocating for a conglomerate again, right? Someone who was making millions a month, a month, right? Like, I know what the school tuition fees were. Like, they were making so much money, and they were like, "Yo, just be okay with less, dude. That is what you should do. This is the best. This is the best thing you can do is you can want less, and then we can have more." And I'm like, "Yo, okay." Peace. And I was the first one that left. I was the first one that left. And then guess what? Every single one of the other teachers that was on the other side of the table with me also left that school. Fucking trailblazer. Sold my electric scooter. Climbed on a train to Shanghai. And it was so empowering. I stepped into the unknown going to China. And then stepping out of the like blanket of security I had with this dude who got me there illegally, right? And I didn't know this. At that point, I didn't even know this information. This I only found out later. Like the other sides of it, right? Like the who he talked to get the paperwork done in the first place, slash who he talked to get the paperwork passed in the first place, right? And the fact that I left means that I not only didn't have the protection of the employer that I had there, but I also didn't have the protection of all of the corrupt officials as well. And that really dawned on me. That really dawned on me. I think I'm burning through battery. I have 3% left. Put your phone on low battery mode. It is on low battery mode. It switches itself on low battery mode automatically when it goes on 5%. I was reading about bilingual, specifically English Spanish adults reported higher pain intensity when exposed to painful heat in the language of their stronger cultural orientation. When we can identify something with a sound, we can make with our face. We can identify more of it. That is really cool. So, like, my mind now wants to identify happiness in all of the languages and see all of the different facial expressions for happiness so that I can identify more of it. Love you, Jovan. That's awesome information. That is super interesting. While you're here, you will tell everyone your name is Oliver Piccadilly for Oxford. I mean, at least I got to keep my name. But I had to like rename myself to ST. That's what the kids called me, ST, because Estian was a little bit much for them. Melt would have been pretty cool though. But that was before I was Melt. I mean, I had the Meltmore name, but I didn't identify with it just yet. It was like at the end of that year where I officially created the YouTube channel and stuff. That's when the roots really started freaking kicking in. Where do you live? In Big Ben, sir. Right up the tippity top. In the clockety clockety. I have a nice little skinny bed against the wall. That's that's where I live. Right there. China Tales, these stories are so harrowing. They really make me appreciate where I am right now. Again, a sense of relief washes over me when I get to again just be here. I want to read so many of these comments, but I feel like I'm well done, yo. We call them as we see them, yo. Most people in America pull the same, just want less. We had less. You should have less. Then when you walk away silently, it shows your acknowledgement of your worth in a way language can't. Mm, full circle, unless the person is Joe. I will overpay. Knowing your worth is empowering. If you let them, people will talk you into putting yourself down in clearance. Yeah, and you know what the best part was, Joy Vive? This was kind of like the best, most satisfying part for my ego at first, at least. I'm on 1%. I want to keep the stream dry. Like one of the best parts of me is the fact that run. Oh, okay. I just got a message and I heard my phone vibrate. Yeah, yeah. We have electricity. Suddenly so fucking awkward. So, as soon as I got in Shanghai, right, this was still technically pre-COVID. COVID didn't really kick in just yet. I instantly upped my pay with 7,000 rand a month, which is like $350, which might not be that much to one of you friends, but again, that's as much as I earn a month right now with the Patreon. So it's still a lot of money to me. Still a lot of money to me. And it was this sense of like, yeah, I believed in my worth, and now I'm actually being paid at least closer to what I'm worth. Surely there's no number amount that will ever reach my ego's belief of self-worth, but at least it was closer to that infinitely unachieved. All right, and then it directly went into COVID right after that month, which means that our training center completely closed down, which means that we had no more feet walking in the door, which means that there was less money coming into the company, which means that they justified that they're no longer gonna pay me. And then I got paid $200 less. No, it was more. No, it was about 200. No, it was about $200. $200 less from that. Like I got like the big raise, and then after that big raise, I got $200 less than I got from the previous job that I had just left. And that part messed me up because she kept promising me that this is temporary. As soon as the schools open up again, the money was gonna start flowing again, and they're gonna make me whole. More than $10,000. Just never paid. But so it be, right? I learned so much from China. So much about people, so much about myself. So much about myself and about what I am willing to tolerate. And I feel that is something that I wish my brother would understand about me as well. Right? I'm thinking about Vessel. We had this whole spat so long ago. Like he's probably completely forgotten about it, but I hold on to things. I'm sentimental like that. Where he was like tuning me about still living with my parents at 25, right? So it wasn't that long ago. I was I was still home. And I go, bro, you do realize I came back to my parents' place, right? Like I moved out directly after high school. I finished high school, and then 12 January, I was like, we finished high school around end of November. 12 January, I was in my own apartment, right? Paying for it myself. I relentlessly called, this is nepotism technically speaking, but I relentlessly called my uncle to try and get him to give me a job because he had like labor intensive, job. So I was like, this dude needs hands to move things. I can move things. Kept calling him. Got that job. Right? Worked for it's only technically a year. Right? End of that year, went to China, suffered more. And then I started the live streaming thing after that. And I was like trying to articulate to my brother the perspective, the perspective that I have right now. And again, what I value. I love him so much. I hope he's reaching out to those people about that job offer. Please, dude. Come on, oh. Like, I'll do it for you. I'll pretend to be you on the slap phone. I'll be like, ex-vessel, en ek is nie soveel daai werksgeleentheid. Asseblief, bel my terug as ek enigiets kan doen. Laat my weet of jy enigiets nodig het van my af. Ek is heeltemal hier so vir julle en ek is reg om te werk. Ek is baie reg om te werk. Dankie. I'll fucking call them over and over again, bro. Just let me at him. Okay. Love you again, Shell. Unless the person is Joe, I hold over pay. You did it. Way to go, Melty. We made it. I'm gonna go in and get my cards so that we can pull one here. And a part of me wants to. I mean, the light is bad in here. The light is pretty bad in here. Did it put enough? I mean, my phone is on 11% again. So, nice. This works. I approve. Let me show you these little window windies. I harvested 5 of my plants last night. Well, this morning at 5 a.m. They're so small. They're so tiny. Right? Like one of my like not even one of my branches. Like that much on one of my branches that was this tall is bigger than the whole of my plants. I love quick charging cables. Me too, Joy Vive. Me too. It does make a difference. I mean, this 11% should... Oh, that was way much more momentum than I intended. I'm so sorry. What did that make you feel? In your language, how would you articulate how that made you feel? All right, card time. Our goodbye message has been sent. That rug with swirly, me likes, me too. It's nice and fluffy as well, so I can do push-ups on it and stuff. It's like a pseudo yoga mat. How's your cactus? I mean, I would want to show you. I was thinking about it on the drive today. It's still too early to say. I think would be the best answer I can give you, Joy Vive, because it's a pup, right? So the cactus grows, and then it reaches a point of maturity, and then it gets cut, and then it's a stump, and then that stump will start creating a new little node. So that stump did that twice, and the other node was like this big, and my node was like that big. But it got 45-degree angle cut the day I got it. So I think it's still gonna take like a few weeks, maybe even months, for it to properly establish some roots. And then only then can I really articulate and tell you how the cactus is. Because right now it's kind of like, survive, 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 please survive, please grow roots, please, 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 please. That's where I am right now. Will you plant it? No, probably not. That bag is like about 7 liters of really good soil, and that doesn't need that much, technically speaking. They had a bunch of adult ones at the place that I get my butt from, and they're in smaller pots than that one is. They're in these small little tin, we call them emmers, buckets, small little tin buckets, you know, so it has bad drainage as well technically, and that is, you know, a fabric pot, so it should be better. I weirdly enough did think about planting it again today. Like it's so weird how you've been in my mind a little bit, Trevi. But on the road, I was like thinking about that cactus, thinking about being able to take it with me when I might eventually move here. Thinking about if I move somewhere, would it be easier for me to just take it home and plant it there? And then I was like, no, it's cool that it has its own little bag. That way you can have this, and I do believe it's a spirit. You can have this spirit in your space wherever you go. So I probably won't plant it. I might give it a bigger pot eventually, you know, especially if I investigate and I see its roots are getting bound. Did I really? I did. I really did. Remember when I ran inside to get my charger? I took my cards with me, but I completely spaced in trying to bring them back. So I'm gonna put you friends up here. For the Chinese CIA and didn't even know. Bro, maybe, dude. Don't start with me. Okay. I'm gonna give you friends this view. Let's look at some Rockies. No, that one. And I'll be right back. This door has a mind of its own. Oh yeah. Oh. Again. Let's pull a card. Let me just check something. There we go. Row. Looks like this is finishing soon. Yeah, it is Nancy. We're just about getting to the card pull, and then after this card pull, I'm gonna read our goodbye message. We had a good one. I had fun. We talked about spacing. We talked about making people aware of your existence. We didn't really talk that much about it. I talked about it a little bit at the start and then not at all again. But that was the intention of today's stream. Thank you for remaking me aware of your existence, Nancy. I love you, dear friend. It was finishing even earlier, but Mel made a mad dash for his chargers. True. Right, and if I had microphones, I wouldn't have been able to charge it. You know, silver linings. Look at that. I'm glad you had a good one, Mel. Thank you, Nancy. I was having a hard time at the start. I was feeling almost too relaxed. Too relieved. Maybe that's the whole emptiness, right? That the masculine needs. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, just as I say, the emptiness the masculine needs. The universe is like, how about you play? There's a dancer dancing in a drink. The sun shining some mad rays. Is that an eclipse? I think that might be an eclipse, right? Is that an eclipse that is happening right there? This is a trippy card. Play. Have fun. Celebrate. Don't be so serious. Don't tell me what to do, card. Don't tell me. I'll be serious, sir. I'll be so serious. Champagne Supernova. I like that. Champagne Supernova sounds like some sort of cocktail that uses champagne. I'm feeling someone in the future go, Melted is. Champagne Supernova is a drink made with champagne. Of course it is. I mean, I was just predicting the future. Joke's on you, future person. One more time. Play. Have some fun. Celebrate. Don't be so serious. Don't be so serious. Play. Ooh, 74. There it is. I usually read these cards seriously. So now that this card is about being playful, I don't know how to read playfully. Part of me says start with a giggle and then see where it goes from there. Stop taking life so seriously. Your spirit needs to have some fun. The more you play, the more inspiration will follow. Take some time out to do something without being attached to the outcome. You are being called to rest and play. Okay, so I was feeling that rest at the start of stream. And to learn to have more fun. Do something that makes you laugh. The best medicine around. Call up a friend that you can be silly with. Take your inner child on a date. The more you switch off your mind, the more room your spirit has to whisper and guide. When we do things without being attached to the outcomes, ideas, clarity. I butchered that sentence halfway through. When we do things without being attached to the outcome, ideas, clarity, guidance, and solutions have the space to drop in. This is a bad sentence. That's what's happening. Is that Maxine? Today's a good day. Yes, it is. Better so yet. I am aware of your existence, Maxine. Thank you, friend. When we do things about attachment to the outcome, our ideas, the clarity, the guidance, the solutions we need will drop in. Better sentence. The left and right hemispheres of the brain can begin talking to each other. Make play a compulsory part of your day. Schedule it. Like seriously, right? Like actually set 15 minutes out to play. Maybe you pretend you're an animal. And I'm not even joking. I honestly believe that would be beneficial, right? In some way. How do you play? Okay, schedule it. Spend more time doing things just because you love to do them. Just because they bring you joy and light you up. If you follow what lights you up, you will light up the world without even trying. For when you are lit up, you are in your spirit. And when you are in your spirit, you fall into the flow of life. How do you play? What do you do to have fun? What lights you up? If you've been working hard lately, it's time to celebrate how far you have come, all that you've achieved. Don't rush on to the next thing. Take a moment to throw a party, go on vacation, or have some fun. Me and John talked about having some vacation today in the car. He wants to go through to his dad's place in Cape Town. Which would be an experience. We will have to drive, though. Alright, that's going to be the hard part. But it might be something to consider. Pull a car, Beansy. Melty, super funny, you said. To pretend to be an animal. Spirit wanted me to use my spirit animal deck today. do pull us a card. Maybe we won't wait to know what the full reading says, but I do want to know what the animal is, please. Well, how do I miss so many comments? There's more comments on this screen than there are on this screen. This feels, I feel like I'm getting scammed. I am now officially upset. Yeah, 100%. I'm missing comments. Don't get me triggered. Okay. It was maybe I didn't. Champagne Supernova sounds like an Oasis song. I'd love to have a glass of champagne with y'all. I mean, you can. Here we all are. I haven't heard that song in a minute. What's the jam though? Beansy, hey friend, so much love. Are you in the eclipse zone? Joe is. Beautiful day. Right in the middle of the path. 4 minutes of eclipse. That's crazy. I had a friend who always used to say, don't be attached to the outcome. I would like to be that friend that says that too, Nancy. You're gonna have 4 minutes of night in the middle of the day. Dancing is play. True. This is true. Super fun advice to live by. Love is true. Pull a card. One moment. You finally gonna get to go to the beach if you go to Cape Town. True. That is true. And no load shedding. I read that they have their own power resources. True. They're managed by a different governmental party kind of vibe as well. I want to go to Cape Town one day. They have the world's largest free flight outdoor bird sanctuary. Okay. Guess it is now suddenly crystallized into my brain. Sorry. But it's gonna happen. Now it must have. Dear for gentleness. Yes. We're like, again, we even talked about this. I did. That relief that I was talking about, that relaxedness, that sense of calm, was a gentleness. I do feel that, your energy. Thank you, Laughing Tiger, for joining us. I'll see you friends again soon. I'll bless us all with our goodbye message, lovingly sent by Jovan. Have the most beautiful day, everyone. You're for reals and truths and seriousness and certainty, so admiringly awe-inspiring, masterful Meltmore. And all of you, oh so very intentionally, expressively, superradically, charmingly, cheerfully, super sweet and authentically, wholesome humanimal critter creatures, becoming more aware of your loved ones when making your existence known to them. So perfect. Thank you, dear friends, for blessing me with your presence, for making me aware of your existence. Thank you for becoming aware of mine. Day by day, moment by moment, we will grow into something so powerful. The rest is in Discord. Thank you. Appreciate it. Dear teaches us the power of gentleness and how to use it to touch the minds of those who are trying to keep us from sacred mountains. How about that? That feels up. Don't forget your swim trunks. Sis got you for your birthday. Oh yeah, my flowery ones. Yeah, I should. I would like to swim in the ocean. I just to like ground myself in all of that water. Be embraced by Mama Gaia. Fall into... I'm gonna stop myself right now. I love you. Thank you for joining me on another day, another opportunity to consciously evolve, to become aware of our own existence. I didn't say this just yet, but can you just look at your hands and be like, oh wow, I am aware of my own existence. Stop. I'm sorry. Love you, dear friends. I'll see you again soon. Tomorrow. Until then, goodbye.